Welcome. Thanks for coming. And let's start with just a little bit about MJ Freeway, who we are, what we're doing. As investors, I think the best way to think about us is as an attractively valued software as a service company that happens to be serving the fastest growing industry in the world. So why is everyone so excited about cannabis? It's growing faster than natural foods, faster than cosmetics, faster than any other industry right now worldwide. And what we're doing and pursuing, have announced, and I think this is one of our introductory slides, that we are merging with Imtech, which is a special purpose acquisition company. So what that means is it's a blank check company. They raised funds which sit in trust, currently $57.5 million. And when the merger effects, we will become the surviving entity with about $60 million on our balance sheet. The transaction, the way that works, the shareholders of Imtech keep their value of what they invested. The MJ Freeway shareholders, the company is valued at $70 million. We come with $10 million of cash from the Series C that I raised back in August, $10 million oversubscribed. So effective $60 million valuation for the company. So who are we? What do we do? We serve the entire cannabis supply chain compliantly across every legal jurisdiction. So that means we serve cultivators, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. We also have a regulatory oversight product, Leaf Data Systems, for government agencies to oversee compliance in their jurisdiction. We have two main clients for that product, states of Washington and Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania's contract is unique in that the state mandates that the operators also use MJ Platform. So MJ Platform being our B2B product, SaaS product. And of course, clients who use us there are more likely to use us elsewhere as well, and we have ability to upsell beyond the compliance version that we provide as part of our state contract. Technology is a little bit of an interesting thing to talk about here at this cannabis conference. I think a lot of people are focused on the direct plant businesses, the brands, and tech is in this interesting space. I started with stating that you should think about it as a SaaS company that happens to serve the fastest growing industry in the world. And so I think there's a lot of confusion over how do I value a software or a technology company really in a space where we're focused on cannabis. And I think the way that you should think about that and frame that in terms of the market opportunity is that according to Gartner, in any other industry across the board, businesses spend 6% on technology solutions. They spend 3.5% just on enterprise and IT solutions. So what that means for cannabis today at current total cannabis revenues is that there's a $300 million market opportunity for just enterprise and IT solutions in cannabis today. It's $1 billion opportunity in just a couple years. And as the current leader in that space, we are uniquely poised to capitalize on that opportunity. Right now, businesses probably spend somewhere between 10 and 20% of what businesses in other industries spend on enterprise and IT solutions. And it's not hard to understand. I mean, if you've listened to some, do we have slides yet, by the way? Not yet? Okay, let me know. You give me a thumbs up when we have them. So if you've listened to some of these other presentations, what you've heard is that these businesses have been really focused on hard asset purchases. They've been focused on mergers and expansion. And as consolidation continues, as globalization is realized, and as the market continues to grow, these businesses will need to focus on their infrastructure and make investments in order to remain relevant in a more competitive marketplace. And that's really where we come in. So if you think about the cannabis market today and what our competitive landscape looks like, a summary of that, we have a lot of competition that interacts in various pieces of that supply chain. So we have some competes with us in cultivation in a couple states, or in retail, and they're compliant in X number of markets. And so part of what we're pursuing with this transaction is we see that rather than as a competitive landscape, we really see that as a consolidation opportunity. We hope you'll join us. So as we think about our overarching strategy, the platform is built, it's built to scale. We address the entire supply chain compliantly in every legal jurisdiction. With this transaction, the financial resources are in place to accelerate our growth, but also to pursue this targeted acquisition strategy to establish ourselves as the leading cannabis technology solution. Okay, let's see where we are here. So IMTEC is the company with whom we're merging, the SPAC. So it's a deal team that put together these funds that sit in trust, that trades on the NASDAQ. So they come with some great hedge fund asset experience, and also the founders of IMTEC ran a successful venture fund in cannabis as well, Hyperventures, with which some of you may be familiar. MJ Freeway is the largest cannabis technology company. We've talked about our SaaS across all supply chains. And here's a nice diagram of our two products. So I mentioned the B2B product, MJ Platform, cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, retail. And then we also have this B2G product, Lead Data Systems, which provides a regulatory oversight layer to government agencies. If you remember nothing else from my presentation, please remember this slide. This is this market opportunity slide. The takeaway should be that cannabis businesses are underspending in this category. They will need to spend to be relevant. We're currently the leader, and it's a $1 billion market opportunity in just a couple years, which is part of why we're pursuing this larger transaction. Quick view of the transaction. That's a little bit hard to talk through. It's a little bit easier to see on a slide. So this represents the value of the funds that have been raised in trust, the enterprise valuation for MJ Freeway, and the sponsors for putting together the transaction. If you're here, we're all paying a lot of attention to how fast cannabis is growing. What I do want to talk about just for a minute is global presence. So we're really the only cannabis technology company that's truly operating globally with clients in 12 countries. And we've been able to achieve that partly because those markets are still very emergent, if you will. There are a limited number of licenses, and we're poised to grow as the markets grow and as more and more markets emerge. In particular, we think that there's a lot of emergent opportunity in Latin America, for instance, and Europe. So I've already shared our strategy. I'm going to try to skip through and see if there's anything I missed here. Here's what we do. This is important. So we've been in business for 10 years, and we have a proven ability to execute and to sustain high growth. We're on track to meet our financials this year, and we're projected to grow MJ Platform by 50% in each of the next 2 years. The board of directors of the combined entity will include 4 existing MJ Freeway board members, including myself, as well as 3 members from IMTEC bringing their expertise. Additionally, Roger McNamee, who led our Series B round of financing. He's pretty famous in the media right now. He's on a book tour for his book, Zucked. He was an early investor in Facebook and has a lot to say about some of their algorithms. He serves as senior strategic advisor to the board and has been a great mentor to me personally. He led our Series B round of financing, which we use to build MJ Platform, which is our enterprise product to the industry. So just as a note of why he was interested, he sees us as a business as the last true enterprise ground-up software that will be built. And by having the ability with the federal-state conflict in the US to build our product over years, gain market share, gain presence, we've been able to achieve. So it's a unique position in which to be. We've got a great executive leadership team, and I just want to, I put this slide in here, and I want to mention this because cannabis, I think, has still been working to attract good leadership. And on our team, we've got folks who have already built $200 million software companies. We've got a CFO that has a certified anti-money laundering certification as well as prior public company experience. And in my VP layer, I have folks who've been CTOs of public companies. I have folks that I've been able to bring over from Coca-Cola and from some other large businesses of which you might have heard. So it's just, I've been able to pull together a really outstanding leadership team, and it's part of what's going to be able to propel our ability to execute moving forward. So here's how we see the competitive landscape. You'll notice there are a lot of really tiny competitors' names that you can't read very well along that continuum. But the point is that we do have a lot of competitors, and some of them have great technology in the area in which they operate, and their piece or their component of the supply chain. And we don't see that as a competitive landscape anymore. We see that as a consolidation opportunity. And we hope you'll join us. I will be at the table if anyone has any questions. I know we're on a tight schedule, so thank you very much for your time.